started to run. You'll see I'm using a backpack with a bladder. First time I've used it, and see if it's any more convenient than carrying bottles. It's a widow's backpack, which doesn't come with the bladder, so I went to Sports Direct and got a bladder there, but within about 10 metres of starting it was leaking at the big port kind of thing where you load it up. So I've managed to kind of fold it over and it seems to be okay now, but I think we'll have to invest in a more expensive one. And everybody's wondering why I'm talking to myself as I run along. Right, so but the backpack itself seems a success. I like the two straps across the front, so that's much better than just the little ordinary rucksack that I had tried. It kept slipping down, so this is much better. Okay, so let's carry on, see how the run goes. So yeah, before I started, so I'm using this little backpack with a bladder for the first time, and when I first started off I noticed that there was a leak coming out from the port where you fill it up, so I rearranged things so that it would always be above the level of the water. However, my back is soaking wet down to my shorts, and the bench that I'm sitting on just now is soaking. So I had to empty my backpack. Fortunately I had a towel with me to mop my hot brow, but instead of that I've had to use it to mop up the backpack. In actual fact, it was only the stuff down at the very bottom that got a bit damp, and only the outside of the stuff, so there's nothing being damaged. So the backpack's sitting in the sunshine while I'm doing this little bit of feedback, and then we'll get going again. Right, so this is the bladder that sits inside the backpack, and you have this feed tube that comes out the bottom, and it comes through a gap in the shoulder. There's a channel in the shoulder of the backpack, and this comes down, and it's got a nice valve. That's a good idea about it. You can switch the supply on or off, and you flip out here, and then you've got the bite valve here where you can just suck through. So that's cool. First problem is when you bite and suck through, you've got a whole load of air that you've got to suck through first. However, that's a minor irritant, and this is the basic problem at this end. So the water, you kind of have it up like this in your backpack, and that's fine, but as you're running along, this is splashing up the way, and when it's full, of course, it's up there all the time, and there it goes. So you can see the water's just running out. Okay, so here's the real problem. It's got a nice big fill port, and you look at the black bit and you think, oh yeah, it's a good seal, but there isn't actually a seal in there, and when you've got this tightened up to as tight as it goes, this doesn't actually touch that, so there is no seal. And even if it did, this is rigid plastic, so it looks as though it's a seal, but it's not. This is rigid plastic as well. This is all rigid plastic, so you've got hard plastic against hard plastic, and that's never ever going to seal. Right, so I've had a bit of a drink, and I think we have the ceremonial dumping of the water, and so that's an absolute failure. Wasting money. That's the Karrimor bladder. This is the 2 litre one. The 1 litre one, the packaging looks exactly the same, so I would imagine that it's going to look just the same. So that's an unfortunate bit of a waste of money. There we go. So you can see the gap. You know, even really screw that up tight. Yeah, there's a huge gap. There's what must be about 4 or 5 millimeters gap there. So that's never ever going to seal. So we will. I don't know about these valves and the fittings, but I don't think there's anything wrong with the valve. So we'll take the valve off and we'll keep that. But first bin that we come to, that'll be getting dropped off. Don't have the receipt, don't have the packaging, so can't take it back. So, Mr. Karrimor, that's very disappointing.